that story is about God telling a people who were in oppression are seeking escape and liberation, but telling them that they have to leave their country and go to a land which God will show them. And of course, the whole Exodus experience is an experience of pilgrimage, and in a sense, the foundational story of pilgrimage, with God traveling ahead of God's people. I mean, in that reading that Caro read, we have that very enigmatic statement by God, I am who I am. Tell them that I am has sent them. Now, if you look at the Hebrew, it's actually in the future tense. So almost a better translation of that would be, I will be who I will be. God, the one who is always ahead of us, who is always luring us, leading us on in love. And the pilgrim experience, as it is described in the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament for Christians, is about, in many ways, people feeling they're closer to God when they are on the move, when they're walking through the desert and the promised land, with God ahead of them, I will be who I will be, than when they try and pin God down with a temple and build the great temple. So I think it's a kind of reminder to us, particularly in these difficult times when, as you've already alluded to, we are closing churches and thinking of new uses for churches, that there is a sense in which God is there as we walk on and always ahead of us and always luring us on. So that's one of the origins. Of course, pilgrimage is found in all the great world faiths. It's not just in Christianity. And this idea of a spiritual journey, of a journey of seeking, of questing, often to a holy place, a holy site, but not always, in the case of the people of Israel, to the promised land. And then, of course, if we come to the New Testament, and I think we're going to be reading it shortly, Jesus' famous words that the foxes have their nests and the birds of the air have the foxes have their holes and the birds of the air have their nest, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. In other words, Jesus presents himself as a pilgrim, as a wanderer. And you think of all those stories in the New Testament of Jesus walking by the shore of Lake Galilee, up the hills, the Galilean hills, up towards Jerusalem on that final fatal journey. So there is a huge sense of Jesus as a pilgrim. And of course, Jesus sends his disciples out as pilgrims.